Hey guys, Brian from Boas here. It's been a while since I've shown you my Morph Boas, and some of you guys have been asking for morph related content lately. So today I'm going to give you an update on some of my favorite Morph Boas, including how they've been developing over the last few years. I'm also going to discuss some potential morph pairings for the 2023 breeding season, so be sure to stay tuned for that. First up, we have this guy. This guy is a Moonglow Boa, which is a 3-gene combo of Kahl Albino, Anerythristic, and Hypomelanistic. And I just really love how this guy's been developing over the last few years. He's actually about 2.5 years old, but the Morph Boas grow quite a bit faster than the locality Boas, so you can see this guy definitely starting to look like an adult Boa. And I just love his color. He's got this really pale yellow color with these white markings, just really beautiful. Much like the name Moonglow, they do look like the pale yellow of the moon. I don't know why he's a little jerky this morning. And this guy, normally he's really calm to handle. He's a little bit, I don't know if it's because it's the morning or what, but maybe he's a little bit uneasy right now. But usually he's a very chill, laid-back Boa, one of my favorite Morph Boas to handle. I also love the looks of his head. He's got this beautiful pale eyes, just really cool looking animal. And I didn't name this guy for quite a while. The other day I was cleaning the cages and it occurred to me a perfect name for this Moonglow Boa would be Apollo. So this is Apollo, my Moonglow Boa. One of the few Boas that I've actually named other than a number. And just really like this guy. I think I might be pairing this guy up in the 2023 breeding season. So as I mentioned, he's about 2.5 years old, but he's probably about 4.5 feet long. I've been reading a lot of morph breeding articles online, and many people do breed the Morph Boas quite a bit younger. I've even seen people claiming they can breed male Morph Boas as small as 3 feet long. So we'll see. I've never bred a Boa this young, but he definitely has that adult Boa look. And hopeful that he can pass on these beautiful genes to the next generation. So why don't I show you the animal I'm thinking about pairing this guy up with next. Here we have Apollo's potential mate for the 2023 breeding season. This is a Kahl Junglow, which is a combination of the Kahl Albino, the Jungle, and the Hypo genes. And she's gotten quite a bit bigger over the last couple of years. I would say she's maybe 6.5, 7 feet. Quite muscular, definitely has the adult proportions. And this animal has just really intense color, which seems to have gotten better as she's gotten older. She hasn't lost color at all, and she's got this beautiful orange and yellow and some paler shades of kind of a corally pink color. Just a really beautiful looking animal. So pairing this guy up, or this female up, with my Moonglow Boa. I won't get any Moonglows, unfortunately, because she's not het for Anerythristic, but I will potentially get Sunglows, Albinos, and Junglows, and they will all be het for Anerythristic. So potential holdbacks for the next generation. The Junglow Boa is definitely a good combo Boa to get if you're on somewhat limited budget and you want 3 really powerful genes that are really popular that you can breed in a lot of your breeding projects. So this is a Kahl Junglow. I also have a VPI T positive Junglow, so I'll give you a look at her next. This female is another form of the Junglow Boa. This is a VPI T positive Junglow. So in place of the Kahl Albino that we saw in the last animal, this animal is a VPI T positive albino along with Jungle and Hypo. And as you can see, there's a distinctly different appearance. Overall, she's a little bit darker, kind of more of a deep salmon red colored markings. The ground color is a little darker. And then another difference that I really like on these VPIs is you can see she's got these black flecks because the VPI T positive does not completely disrupt the melanin gene. So she produces some melanin, the dark pigment, and she's got these beautiful freckles, especially towards her tail. Incidentally, some people see these and they say, are those mites? These are not mites, I can assure you. Some people are so paranoid about mites, they see them wherever they look. So this female is a year younger than the Kahl Junglow I showed you. She's a 2019 baby. So she's about 3.5 years old, quite chunky as you can see. She's put on quite a bit of weight. She'll get her fast over the winter. I don't know. I don't think I'm going to breed this one this year. She's kind of borderline. I thought maybe, but I I'd rather give her another year, get a little bit bigger, put on some more length and size, and hopefully that will translate to a slightly larger litter and less risk overall. But just really like this female. Not sure if I prefer the VPI or the Kahl Junglows. I like them both. Why don't you comment below which do you prefer, the VPI T positive Junglow or the Kahl Junglow? So just comment below. And this animal, if I do pair her up, probably in 2024, let me show you the animal that I'm going to potentially pair her up with next. The potential mate for the VPI T positive Junglow female is this guy. This is a VPI T positive albino, and he's just a single gene boa. But among single gene boas, I think that VPI T positive is definitely one of the most striking. He's got this beautiful golden coloration, and overall it doesn't scream morph. It's a relatively natural look, just a really cool looking animal. This guy is now 5.5 years old, so this is pretty much his adult size. Might put on a little bit more, but not going to get much bigger than this. And this guy actually paired up in 2022, and unfortunately it wasn't successful. I paired him up with my Hypo Marron, hoping to get some Hypo Marron's het for VPI T positive, which I could then cross to get the VPI T positive Marron combos. Unfortunately, it didn't work out. The female slugged out early. There were a couple undeveloped or underdeveloped embryos and mostly slugs, so very disappointing. Not sure exactly what happened, if it was, you know, this guy wasn't breeding that much, or the female wasn't receptive, or who knows. I mean, sometimes it's really hard to predict with these boas if they're going to breed or not. So I don't know. I think I'm going to give this guy a year off next year in 2023. Just give him a break from breeding. I don't want to push it. Hopefully he will breed the following year. I don't know. I've heard that sometimes you have males that just aren't interested in breeding. And I hope that's not the case with this guy, because I sure would like to, you know, reproduce these genes. Anyway, we'll just have to see. And I really like this guy. He's being a little active this morning, my boas, maybe because it's early in the morning. They're just moving around a lot. But it's a boa that I've enjoyed growing up over the last few years. Next up, we have another potential mate for the VPI T positive albino male. This is an IMG Hypo Jungle, and she is potentially het for VPI T positive, 66% chance. And unfortunately she's in shed right now, so she's a little bit dull. But just a really cool boa. She's gotten a lot darker over the last couple years. She's about 3.5 years old, another 2019 baby. And also put on quite a bit of bulk and length. And you can see she's getting pretty dark. This animal was quite a bit lighter, I think, the last time I had her in a video. I don't expect her to get like pure black like some of the IMGs, and especially like the IMG Motleys and Aneries. But because she's got the Hypo and the Jungle, these in combination with the IMG, they have a lighter appearance. And you can see she's got quite a bit of tans and browns in there along with the black. And her colors, as I said, are much brighter when she's not in shed. But just a really cool boa. And, you know, when I breed her to the VPI T positive, if she is het, hopefully I'll get some VPI T positive IMG combos, which would be really cool. But just have to see. With these hets, you just don't know. It's kind of like a lottery. You might win or you might not win. But I guess if you get a good litter, it doesn't really matter the gene types. You know, you win if you get a good litter, you lose if you get a bad litter. So that's kind of how I look at it. Neat animal, the IMG Hypo Jungle, possible T positive female that I've enjoyed growing up the last few years. Now I want to show you a few boas from my Marron breeding project. And Marron is one of my favorite morph genes. It's an incomplete dominant form of pastel. And the Marron is a relatively rare gene. I think it's really underrated and has a lot of potential to improve different morph combos. And so this female is a Hypo Marron, and she's about 5.5 years old, and she's quite a big girl. You know, probably my largest morph, definitely one of my largest morphs, maybe pushing 7 feet, and she's quite bulky. You can see I'm getting a workout just holding her up here. And so this female is, you can see the light colors and the reduction in the saddles, The shape of the saddles is affected by the hypo gene. Hypo also gives them more color saturation and lighter colors, and the Marron gives them this pastel coloration. So she's, quite a striking boa to look at, although you can see not the most calm to handle. And so this female's never been paired up, so she's ready to go for the 2023 breeding season. So now I'm going to show you the male that I am planning on pairing her up with. This is the potential mate for my Hypo Marron female. This is a Jungle Marron male. It's a combination of the Marron gene as well as the Jungle gene. And so unfortunately this guy is in shed right now, so he's kind of dull looking. But he's got really intense colors, increased saturation from the Jungle as well as the pastel coloration from the Marron. And you can see the shapes of the saddles is different because of the Jungle. He's got these connected saddles and these aberrant looking saddles. Just a really cool look. So this particular male is a 2018 baby, and he's actually a proven breeder. He had his first litter this year with my Jungle Marron female and produced some babies of different combos. And one of my most exciting Marron combos is of course the Super Marron, which is an animal that has two copies of the Marron gene. So the Marron gene, in one copy you got this pastel coloration and overall cleanup of the colors and a little bit more intense whites. With the two copies of the Marron gene you have the Super Marron, which has this deep red color, and it's really quite a striking looking morph. There's really not quite anything else like it. And so I actually did produce one baby Super Marron in the last, the 2022 breeding season. So let me show you the Super Marron baby right now. Which brings us to the last boa of the video. And this one, as you can see, is quite a bit smaller and younger than the others, which is a relief because I was getting quite a workout holding these boas this morning. I don't know if they're just jumpy, something's in the weather, maybe an earthquake's coming. Animals supposedly can predict earthquakes. Let's hope that's not the case. But anyway, this is a Super Marron Jungle that I was lucky to produce just a few months ago. And this female has two copies of the Marron gene as well as a single copy of the Jungle gene. So the most striking part of the phenotype is this intense red coloration. You can see she's also got these aberrantly shaped saddles and these connected saddles from the Jungle gene. And just overall a really cool looking animal. This was the only one of the litter that had both, two copies of the Marron gene. So the only super. And so I believe I'm going to be keeping this animal. She's just so cool to look at. Pretty calm animal. You can see she's just kind of hanging out. And she's doing quite well. Put on some length already. Eating frozen thawed, as is the rest of the litter. Incidentally, I still have several Jungle Marron animals available from my litter that you can see on my Flickr page if you're interested in working with these genes. So they're really cool looking animals and highly recommended. And look forward to seeing where this female will develop in the next few years. So when I cross up my Hypo Marron female and my Jungle Marron male, with any luck I should get some more Super Marrons and maybe have some of these guys available sometime next year. So just stay tuned. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this look at my Morph Boas as well as some discussion of my possible pairings for next year. If you have any questions or comments, just please comment below. Thanks for watching and enjoy your boas. Not sure what's going on with the dogs upstairs.